Alright, so I know we got a big trailer for Superman today as well, and I will certainly be making a video on that, but I want to be a little different and talk about this first, cause well, I am still a Marvel fan. We finally have our official trailer for Ironheart, our next MCU Disney Plus series. Now, the character Ironheart, Riri Williams, we remember from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And actually, funny thing, I remember this show was announced before it was announced that the character was going to be in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So now we're finally getting what we were first shown. Also, for those of us in the know, we know that this show was delayed by a couple years. Glad we're finally getting it now. And by now, I mean in a month and a half. So first of all, this trailer is nearly 3 minutes long. Guess it kinda had to be, given how close we are to the release date. And it starts out, the whole first minute of this thing is one scene. Kind of a trend in 3-minute trailers these days. And it's Riri Williams going in for an interview, heavy quotes. She goes into an elevator. Turns out she's gonna get gassed unless she finds a way out of there. One recognizes the disembodied voice. I'll get to that in a second. So Riri Williams geniuses her way out of there, cause that's who she is. A Tony Stark Shuri level prodigy. And she comes face to face and says, "Good morning, Usnavi." Yeah, it's Anthony Ramos. I've always loved that dude, and he's finally breaking into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But before I go on with him though, I gotta touch on one other thing, and that is the fact that Jim Rash is back.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
Yeah, I was like, is that the guy from Civil War? The guy who pitched that self-cooking hot dog idea to Tony Stark at that MIT thing?
I have got this killer idea for a self-cooking hot dog.
Yeah, that's totally him.
We'll catch up later.
How funny. And also great attention to detail from Marvel's part. Now they're bringing back one-liner characters from other MCU titles that only hardcore nerds like myself would remember, because we watched those movies a million times. Well, I remember. Alright, anyway, getting back to Anthony Ramos, his character is named Parker Robbins, aka Hood, I guess. I've never heard of this character from MCU lore in the comics or anything before, but I've read that he's gonna be the villain of this series, and I can tell from this trailer. Looks like he's got some pretty crazy-ass powers. Like what, he can turn invisible? Looks like he's got some crazy shit growing on his back there. From what I gather from this trailer, he almost looks like someone out of a cult. The imagery kind of reminds me of that cult from Late Night with the Devil, like it's demonic or something. It's kind of cool. Yeah, he looks like bad news, although he does have a pretty good line right here.
Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done.
Yeah, of course, that's not a bad point. Of course, we all know that Tony Stark was that same way. He did do some pretty questionable things while he was alive, like creating Ultron, for example. I wouldn't exactly call that a highlight of his life. He made mistakes. Point is, though, it seems like Hood here is taking that ideology kind of the wrong way. It's like, oh, we have to do somewhat evil things in order to leave our mark on the world and be iconic, as Riri wants to be. And well, according to her, that's just not true. She's got to step up and be the hero in her fresh, new and improved Ironheart suit. So yeah, right, we got Ironheart. Gotta say, this suit looks pretty damn cool. I do like the color scheme with the white. Not sure I'm a fan of the bulkiness of it though. I mean, the Power Rangers-ish looking suit that we last saw in Wakanda Forever, I actually like that one a lot. And I will say I like that one more than this one. And it's because I like the slimness of the Ironheart suit, in the comics anyway. Her look in the comics is kind of like a black and pinkish color scheme with some gold in there. I wanted to see that in this series. And if I'm gonna make a guess or a prediction, I imagine that's gonna show up in the finale of this series, like the real Ironheart suit. Of course, I don't know for sure though, but I like the slimness of it. This one's kind of bulky. And actually, it looks like Riri has a couple of Ironheart suits, because she has this one, and then towards the end of the trailer, we see another one. It's a little more rusty looking, still just as bulky though, and she flips over a truck. It's a pretty cool action scene, and that's that. Again, I do like how it looks overall. I think it's cool looking. In fact, I would think it's completely badass if it were a little slimmer. That's all, but that's just me. And this trailer ends with a little stinger.
A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady.
Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
So Alden Ehrenreich is in this show. We all know he was Han Solo in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Now he's coming from one Disney branch to another. His character's name is Joe McGillicuddy, and I guess it looks like he's gonna be a friend of Ironheart's. Maybe he's gonna be her guy in the chair, I don't know. Her helper guy. The jokey joke was alright, but that's not really what I'm here for. I'm here for the awesome action and good character moments, which in the end it looks like this show, Ironheart, is gonna have plenty of. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people on Twitter are saying that they don't care about it, or that no one asked for it, but I remember really freaking out and cheering in my seat when this show was first announced.
Ironheart will be a Disney Plus about genius inventor Riri Williams.
Yes! Because the truth is, I love this character. I really like the concept of her. Someone who's stepping up and taking over the Iron Suit legacy while still being her own completely unique character. She's not a carbon copy of Iron Man, just like Miles Morales is not a carbon copy of Peter Parker. She's her own person, who just happens to have a similar superpower, in this case, a super smart brain. I can dig it. And also, lastly, gotta touch on the fact that they're really boasting Ryan Coogler's name as exec producer on on this thing. And I know they released that featurette yesterday with him saying some words, but honestly, the reason they're boasting his name is because he is so huge, with Sinners and of course the Black Panther movies. But really, exec producer doesn't really mean a whole lot, at least not as much as you might think. Really, he's just putting his name on the series. He's not the brains behind it. So there, just thought I'd break some realism into some skulls, in case you didn't know. Still, of course, looking forward to the show though, although I don't think I'll be making videos on each episode. So, the official trailer for Ironheart, have you watched it yet? What are your thoughts on it? And are you looking forward to this show, or are you gonna pass it up? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Now, if you'll excuse me, Babe and I are seeing Hurry Up Tomorrow tonight, and I'll be reviewing that tomorrow. This is actually the first of a 4-day video streak from me, because I got lots to talk about coming up, so stay tuned. Peace!